Today we've got a lot of itinerary changes to talk about, as well as some things I think to keep in mind when these things happen. Lots of information to share with you about that. We're also going to be talking about Galveston, why it's a big deal as a cruise port, and what we need to be keeping our eye on, how some excursions are showing up on the Holland America website. I want to make you aware of that, and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday. It is March 31st of 2025. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please click on that subscribe button? We need to have you with us, and we talk about cruising 6 days a week. And when we go somewhere, we take you with us. Also, if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Alrighty, this evening we are going to do our live. We'll be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and so come and join us if you can. If not, you can watch it again later. People ask great questions. We have a lot of fun together. So come ready to talk about cruising, traveling to cruise, and lots more. One other thing I wanted to make sure that you're aware of is if you want to support us around here and you have an travel agent that you just love, so you don't want to book a cruise with me. If you don't have a travel agent you love, I'd be delighted to work with you. But if you want to support us anyway, Gordon's going to be putting the link to our Amazon store in the first comment of our videos going forward. And if you have to buy something on Amazon, if you click on our link, you don't even have to buy anything in our store. But if you click on our link and go into Amazon, that way we get a teeny tiny little bit of credit every time you do that. So just thought I would put that out there, and I appreciate your support. And I want to add, I am going to get better at talking about things that I think are useful to take with you. I am a minimalist when it comes to packing a bunch of extra crap. I don't really want to do that. And so to me, the things that Gordon and I talk about that we pack and take with us, we actually really use and really appreciate. And I think they make a difference in our experience. But just wanted to put that out there. Now, let's start at the very top with the itinerary changes that I mentioned. So, we have had a lot of itinerary changes coming in. I am aware of the itinerary changes associated with the Majestic Princess right now, as well as some other news with the Majestic Princess. But then also, a lot of you have been really kind to send me emails about your itinerary changes, and some of you have posted on Facebook, so thank you so very much. Overwhelmingly, the change in the itineraries that we are seeing is in the Mediterranean, and it is for ships no longer calling in Santorini. Now, there are a few reasons why I think cruise ships are not calling in Santorini quite the way they have in the past. The number one reason is that cable car that takes guests from the level that the tender will bring you over up to the top of it truly is a caldera, very steep all the way around. The cable car that takes you up to the top is not operating right now, and they have not really said how long it will be until they can get it operational again. They didn't really list why it's not working, but on everything that I have read, I would surmise that it is probably because of the earthquakes. And so with that not happening, they are really limited with how many guests that they can accommodate at the same time. There is that pathway that you can walk up, but it is steep. There are donkeys that will take you up, but there is also a lot of donkey stuff there that can be very, very slippery. And so it's really hazardous actually to use that walkway. Not saying you can't, just putting that out there. The other way that you get to the top is if you do an excursion with a cruise line, they actually bring the buses down a steep hill there, and they pick everyone up at the level there where the tenders drop you off, and then they drive you up to the top. You do your excursion, and then they generally end over at Fira there on the top, and then when you want to come down, you just take the cable car down. So with that cable car not working, they really are in a little bit of a predicament with how many people that they can manage all at once. And so we'll just have to kind of keep our eye. I have noticed that the changes in a lot of the itineraries that I have heard about of ships not calling there in Santorini, I have not heard about ones late in the season. So if you have an itinerary change that you've just received for a Mediterranean cruise that you have late in the season, let me know. The ones that I have heard about are more like April into early May. And so we'll just have to keep an eye on this. But with the current Majestic sailing, number one, they had to really speed up. The captain came on the loudspeaker on the ship and told everyone that they were speeding up so that they could get to Tenerife, however you pronounce that. I don't know that that's correct, because they had a medical emergency, but it was really going to extend their time in that port. They were going to end up being there 2 days, is my understanding. So that's really nice. And so when you go somewhere, have something else in your back pocket that you would like to see, so that if you have more time than you expected, you'll be able to do that. Some of the other changes is they are not going to go to Santorini. Instead of Santorini, they are picking up the port of Heraklion there on Crete. I love that port. I know it is not Santorini, and I love Santorini too, but Heraklion is not a bad option at all. In fact, that's my favorite port on Crete. So I'm glad they get to do that. So we've got a video. I've talked a lot in the past about what to do there. So we'll put that video, Gordon will link it. But then, and if you have a cruise booked with me, I'll talk with you about that and what you need to know. Now, the other places that they are going to go is they're going to go to Rhodes twice due to the changes. And they are also going to go to Alicante, Alicante, which is a port in Spain. So kind of think of Gibraltar down here and Valencia up here, and it's kind of like partway between the two, and that is new. So not only are they not going to be going to Santorini with the changes, they are not going to be going to Trieste, which is the port there that's close to Venice. It's where ships go to Venice now, one of the ports they go to, and Limassol and Cartagena. So those places are off, and they'll be going, like I said, to Rhodes twice, to Heraklion, and to Alicante. So I'll let you know, I'm not used to seeing Alicante being a port where large cruise ships go to. So it's kind of exciting. We get new things. And so if you are looking at your itinerary, whether you're on a ship or whether you are at home looking for the changes that are coming here, and I know people book cruises to go to Santorini. I know, I've done that before. And so I understand that it is really hard, and the best hope that we have is that you can maybe go another time, but you never know. No, none of us ever know, right? And so I was trying to think of how to put into good words some of the things that I've thought about what to do when things change like that and you're not presented with what you thought. And then this morning, I was reading through the interview that those 2 astronauts gave that were left stuck on the International Space Station way longer, like was it 9 months longer than they expected to be there. And I loved what they said. The interviewer asked them what it was that they thought, like what their thoughts were when they first found out that they were not going to be going home, which is such a bigger deal than your itinerary being changed, right? So the first astronaut, Sunny Williams, said, "My first thought was we've just got to pivot." Then she said, "Let's just make the best of it." And so I thought she summed up perfectly the things we have to think when our itinerary changes. It helps us a lot, the rest in our life as well. But if your itinerary is changed, Rhodes is fantastic. We have a video. We went to Rhodes in October. So Gordon's going to link that video. I share news, and then we do a walkthrough, and we're going to get out the rest of our footage and put it together to make a longer video for you so that you all have a little bit more of something to look for about Rhodes. Really, in Rhodes, you can take an excursion that takes you over to see some ruins from ancient Greece over on another part of the island, or you can stay there in the city. You can do both. You can go do that excursion and then walk around the town. The really cool thing that they have in the town, it's a walled city. It's really cool. They have what is called the Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes. And when we were there, it was closed. And so we are going to go back so that we can see that sometime. But make sure that you don't miss that. We walked up there twice to see if it was open because they thought they might open it later in the day, and then they didn't. But it was so fabulous that we went back in the evening. Our ship was there late. So we enjoyed our day, came back, relaxed a little bit, and then we went back in the evening when it was dark, and it was absolutely wonderful. So anyway, make sure that you keep in mind to pivot and make the best of it. Okay, now next up, what I wanted to tell you about Galveston. So I have seen a lot of comments about Galveston, not just underneath our video, but also on a lot of Facebook groups about Princess canceling those majestic Princess cruises that we're supposed to call there in Galveston. So we really are very much on pins and needles. Nobody really knows if Princess is not going to have a ship in Galveston or if they're just redeploying their fleet. This is early days, and just only that little bit of the itinerary had been released. And so we are just waiting around to see what Princess Francis presents us with as far as Galveston goes. But I wanted to tell you a few things about Galveston for you to kind of keep in mind, especially if you live close enough that Galveston is a driving port. We don't quite live that close. The closest port that we would be able to drive to would be Los Angeles, and that's about 10 hours for us. But when I think of people going out of Galveston, sometimes I hear people say, oh, Galveston's not that great. But you want to know what? Galveston is wonderful. I'm going to show it to you this November when we go. But you really have to keep in mind why people love to go out of Galveston. First of all, it is a port that is drivable for a whole lot of people. A lot of people want to go on vacation, and maybe the flights are cheaper to get down to Galveston. When Gordon and I were talking this over, he said to me, if you have ever driven on the road between Las Vegas and Los Angeles on the weekend or during a holiday, it is bumper to bumper. Always. Every weekend it is so busy. You can just count on it being really busy, going to Las Vegas at the beginning of the weekend and coming home to Los Angeles. And you know why it is? It's because people want to get away. You'll have some people that go there to enjoy the casinos. Some people go there to enjoy the food. There's great shopping in Las Vegas. There are beautiful hotels. You can go down a lazy river. So many different ways to relax there. And I feel like it's that same way about a lot of ships that sail, and Galveston is one of those ports. People can go get on the ship and absolutely enjoy themselves and then come home and get home as quick as they can. So let me know if you've been out of Galveston or if you're going to go out of Galveston. And we'll be keeping our eye on what Princess decides to do. Now, what's going on Holland America's website? So sometime, maybe like a month ago, I realized that the excursions were available for our Holland America cruise. That is our group cruise sailing on July 4th of 2026. Holland America is calling it their Stars and Stripes Cruise 250th birthday celebration for the United States of America. Well, I finally decided that we should maybe book some of those excursions or at least be aware of what is offered. So as we were looking through them, a lot of them have either the wrong date or not very much going on. We looked at what is offered in Philadelphia, and I am really hoping that they add a lot more. Or maybe Holland America is thinking that a lot of people are going to want to do their own thing there. But there are not very many good excursions offered, and there are not very many excursions offered, period, in Philadelphia. Not a lot in New York City either. In New York City, I noticed that a lot of them have the wrong date and time. For example, we pull into New York City on one day at noon and leave at 5 p.m. the next day, and some of them are scheduled for 7:30 in the morning that we don't get to the port until noon. So why am I telling you this? I looked at a few other sailings as well, and their excursions are messed up too. So if you have got a sailing that is booked with Holland America, really pay attention to what you're booking, and know that hopefully more excursions will come. I feel like we just need to kind of talk about this so we can all stay on top of it together. So I'll be keeping my eye to see what else is offered in Philadelphia, if anything else good comes along. Otherwise, we'll definitely be doing our own thing in Philadelphia. And then in New York City, hopefully they'll get the dates and the times right, because they actually had some really cool excursions that I hope will work out. Like one of them is at nighttime. They will take you, you get to do a little bit of a sightseeing drive on your way down to get on a boat, and then go on a nighttime cruise to go under the bridges and see the Statue of Liberty all lit up. So there's a lot there, and you can do that, of course, or something on your own, but just thought I would let you know that things are a little bit funny, and so hopefully things are coming that are better. So let me know if you've got a cruise booked on Holland America and your excursions are kind of odd looking as well. So just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Let's talk for just a minute. You know, every time something big happens in my life, I always I don't know if I adjust, but I am often reminded about what it is that, you know, keeping your eye on the most important thing. And there are a lot of very important things in life. But here on this channel, we talk about travel. And so I just wanted to remind you how important it is to travel when you can go, because you never know what's going to change. And as I look at these port changes and itinerary changes, and I look at what happens with areas of the world that you used to could visit and now you can't visit, and I look at people that used to be able to travel and now they can no longer travel, now more than ever, I think it is really important that we make our bucket list and then figure out how to make it work and when we're going to do it. Like I said, give a date to all of your some days. so that you don't look back and your someday never came. But it could have come if you would have just given it a date and gone. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please let me know in the comments if you happen to be on one of those sailings that has an itinerary change. There are so many itinerary changes on so many sailings, and so just pop it in the comments and it will help all of us stay up to date, because I know sometimes people don't get the emails that they're supposed to get, and it will help all of us kind of stay on top of what's going on. I look forward to seeing you this evening, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.